Hi, I'm Emily, and this is No Expert, and today we're going to be making a smoked salmon quiche. This is something that I love to make for like a brunch if people are coming over. It's something I grew up eating in Nova Scotia, but that I don't see as much around New York, so I thought it would be really fun to share the recipe. Let's get to it. Okay, so what we have here is the ingredients for my quiche. So I have 5 eggs, I have some whole milk, I have a mix of cheeses. Honestly, I use kind of whatever cheese is in my fridge as long as it's not too funky. So this is a mix of grana padano and cotija because I just had a lot of extra cotija and I think it's going to work. I have a white onion and then I have some dried dill. This is actually one of the only times that I use dried dill, but I really like what it adds when you cook it with the onion in a little bit of olive oil and salt. So we'll get to that, but dried dill, chopped capers, fresh parsley, which I've chopped up a little bit, and cayenne pepper. I'm also going to be using, pull these guys over, some olive oil, pepper, and of course, salt. So in order to make this recipe, I'm going to cook these onions. So what I do to make my onion mix is I put a little bit of olive oil in the pan, and then I will sweat out these onions with a little bit of salt until they're just starting to brown, like I'm almost on the way to caramelizing them. And then I'm gonna add my dried dill and cook it another couple minutes to sort of like revive the dried dill, which is not really always that delicious, but in this case it works. And then what I'll get is an already cooked onion mix, which I'm going to add in as a mix-in into my eggs. So this is the final, and you can imagine where it once was, and now here it is. The first thing I need to do to make the egg mix for my smoked salmon quiche is crack some eggs. Crack, crack, crack some eggs into the bowl, as they say. So I have 5 large eggs in my bowl here. I'm gonna add about 2/3 of a cup of whole milk. You can also use cream. I'm gonna whisk that together. Add a little cayenne pepper. And then I'm going to add just a itty bitty bit of salt because everything going in here is a little salty, so we don't want to go. So this is a little whisper of salt. Usually, boom, boom, right? This one just an actual pinch. Pepper. And then I've got my chopped capers, which I'm just going to, this is about a tablespoon of chopped capers. I have my onions, my parsley. Oh, you know what I didn't take out of the fridge? This is exactly what the spreadsheet is for. I'll give you 3 guesses. Do you know? What am I missing?
Box.
The salmon.
Yeah.
Boom. You get a little insert of that. Oh, she was here all along. Great. All right, salmon. This is about 5 ounces of chopped salmon. Smoked salmon. Nova, lox, whatever you want to call it. And then this is, I have a mix of 2 cheeses. I've got a little bit of cotija and a little bit of grana padano. I usually like a goat cheese for this, something that kind of pairs well with the salmon. Like, I wouldn't do a cheddar here, you know? Grana padano is like an Italian aged sheep's cheese, basically, where it's very similar to Parm, but it's got a little bit of that sheepiness, you know? That farm fresh funk. Cotija is sort of like feta a little bit. Briny, that's a good way to put it, yeah. I like it. All right, and I'm just adding this here. We're just gonna whisk it all up. You could use a spatula or a wooden spoon or something if you want, but I already have the whisk out, you know? It's already dirty, why get another thing dirty? What am I gonna do, dishes? All right, and that's our egg mix made for our quiche. Check it out. Ooh, she's beautiful. Jewels of parsley and salmon. Now I need my pie dough and then we can bake it up. Okay, so I have a pie dough I made earlier ready to go. A little bit of bench flour here, as they say. And I'm just gonna roll this out. Away we go. That's ready to go. And okay, usually I'd pop this in the fridge, but it's still pretty cold, so we're just gonna keep moving, because we can. So I have my gorgeous, stunning, beautiful smoked salmon quiche filling. I have my also gorgeous, stunning, beautiful pie dough ready to go. And I'm just gonna pour this in here. And I have an egg just mixed with a little bit of milk, and I'm just gonna egg wash this. this is ready to bake. I'm gonna bake it at 375 for 40 to 50 minutes, and then we'll give her a taste. So the quiche is out of the oven and looking, in my humble opinion, quite lovely. I have it plated up here, garnished with a little smoked salmon, fresh dill, olive oil, and a little flaky salt. The only thing left is to taste. So, let me dig into this thing. It's great. Not to toot my own horn, but I really like this. You get the egg, it's almost like it's a frittata plus a pie crust. I mean, what's not to love, you know? The smoked salmon really comes forward, but you also get like the onion is sort of singing those like savory notes. And the, you know, dried dill. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Not my favorite ingredient. Usually I'm a big fan of fresh dill, but in this particular case where you're rehydrating it with the onion and it adds sort of like a different dimension of dill flavor. And then you serve it with a little fresh dill on top and you get both. That's really nice. The crust is like nice and flaky. And I mean, nothing is worse with a pie crust on it, right? Like everything is better with a little bit of pie crust. And then we have like, yeah, a beautiful little egg bake, some delicious smoked salmon. You get the herbaceousness from the parsley, which also adds some freshness. You get the capers, little bursts of like salty, delicious brininess. And then the cheese just kind of adds, it's a really mild cheese, so it's more just like a little bit of salt and a little bit of like, it just sort of like builds it out a little. It's singing a little bass note that you don't necessarily hear, but you're just like, something's delicious. It's so like savory and like salty and a little tangy. It's such a great breakfast. It feels light. It's a really great way to start, say, a Saturday or any day of the week. But you know, if you're making a quiche, it's probably Saturday. Let's face it. Maybe Sunday. You know what would be great with this? Like a little glass of champagne on the side, you know, a cup of coffee on one hand, champagne or a mimosa in the other. You're sitting, you're having brunch, you're talking to your friends, or maybe you're just watching reality TV. Either way, you are having a really great morning. Have I had a quiche out in the world in the last like 10 years? No, I don't even know where I'd go about finding one. So maybe it's time. Maybe it's time for you to make a quiche so that you can also have a quiche. Quiche is making a comeback, baby. I'm starting it right now, I'm telling you. Quiche is coming back. And that was my recipe for smoked salmon quiche. I hope you liked it. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you want to see more like this, you can always smash that subscribe button. Thanks again. Hope you're great. And I'll catch up with you later. Bye. Bye-bye.